associate Chancellor Murphy, platform associates, members of the faculty and members of the student body of this great institution of learning, ladies and gentlemen. I need not pause to say how very delighted and honored I am to be with you today and to be a part of your lecture series. It is always a rich and rewarding experience when I can take a brief break from the day-to-day demands of our struggle for freedom and human dignity in the South and discuss the issues involved in that struggle with college and university students and concerned friends of goodwill all over the nation. And so I say it is a great privilege and a rich opportunity to be with you. As I stand here, I'm so deeply indebted, as millions of other people are, to this great institution for all that it has given to the cultural and intellectual life of our nation and of the world. So I say thank you, and I also want to thank you for the support you've given our struggle in the South and all over this country. That is a desperate question, poignant question on the lips of millions of people all over our nation and all over the world. I get it almost every day. This question of whether we are making any real progress in the area of race relations. And so I want to try to answer that question and deal with many of the issues involved by using as a subject from which to speak the future of integration. Now, there are some people who feel that we aren't making any progress. There are some people who feel that we are making overwhelming progress. I would like to take what I consider a realistic position and say that we have come a long, long way in the struggle to make justice and freedom a reality in our nation, but we still have a long, long way to go. And it is this realistic position that I would like to use as a basis for our thinking together. Now let us notice first that we've come a long, long way. In order to illustrate this, a little history is necessary. You will remember that it was in the year 1619 when the first Negro slaves landed on the shores of this nation. They were brought here from the soils of Africa. Unlike the Pilgrim Fathers who landed at Plymouth a year later, they were brought here against their will. Throughout slavery, the Negro was treated in a very inhuman fashion. He was a thing to be used, not a person to be respected. The famous Dred Scott decision of 1857 well illustrated the status of the Negro during slavery. For in this decision, the Supreme Court of our nation said in substance that the Negro is not a citizen of the United States. He is merely property, subject to the dictates of his own. And it went on to say that the Negro has no rights, that the white man is bound to respect. And as slavery grew and developed, it became necessary to give some justification for it. It seems to be a fact of life that human beings cannot continue to do wrong without eventually reaching out for some thin rationalization to clothe an obvious wrong in the beautiful garments of righteousness. This is exactly what happened during the period of slavery. Even religion and the Bible were misused in order to justify slavery and crystallize the patterns of the status quo. So from some pulpits it was argued that the Negro by nature because of Noah's curse upon the children of Ham. Then the Apostle Paul's dictum became a watchword: servants, be obedient to your master. And then one brother had probably read the logic of the great philosopher Aristotle. You know, Aristotle did a great deal to bring into being what we now know as formal logic in philosophy. And in formal logic, there's a big word called a syllogism, which has a major premise, a minor premise, and a conclusion. So this brother decided to put his argument for the inferiority of the Negro in the framework of an Aristotelian syllogism. He came out with his major premise: all men are made in the image of God. Then came his minor premise: God, as everybody knows, is not a Negro, therefore the Negro is not a man. This is the kind of reasoning that prevailed. Living with the conditions of slavery and then later segregation, many Negroes lost faith in themselves, and many came to feel that perhaps they were inferior. Perhaps they were less than human. Then something happened to the Negro. Circumstances made it possible and necessary for him to travel more. Coming of the automobile, the upheavals. Two world wars, the Great Depression. So his rural plantation background gradually gave way to urban industrial life. Even his economic life was gradually rising through the growth of industry, the influence of organized labor, expanded educational opportunities. Even his cultural life was rising through the steady decline of crippling illiteracy. All of these forces conjoined caused the Negro to take a new look at himself. Negro masses all over began to reevaluate themselves. The Negro came to feel that he was somebody. His religion revealed to him that God loved all of his children, and that all men are made in his image, and that the basic thing about a man is not his specificity, but his fundamental. Not the texture of his hair or the color of his skin, but his eternal dignity and worth. So the Negro could now unconsciously cry out with the eloquent poet, fleecy locks and black complexion cannot forfeit nature's claim. Skin may differ, but affection dwells in black and white the same. Were I so tall as to reach the pole or to grasp the ocean at a span, I must be measured by my soul. The mind is the standard of the man. With this new sense of dignity and this new sense of self-respect, a new Negro came into being with the determination to suffer, to struggle, to sacrifice in order to be free. So in a real sense, we've come a long, long way since 1619. The Negro has come a long, long way in re-evaluating his own intrinsic worth. But not only has the Negro come a long, long way in re-evaluating his own intrinsic worth, we're to be true to the facts, we must admit that the whole nation has come a long, long way in extending the frontiers of civil rights. 50 years ago, and points even 25 years ago, a year hardly passed when numerous Negroes were not brutally lynched by some vicious mob in the South. But lynchings have about ceased today. This reveals that we've made some strides. At the turn of the century, there were very few Negroes registered to vote in the South. By 1948, that number had leaped to 750,000. By 1960, that number had leaped to 1,200,000. It is still going up in spite of opposition. This reveals that some progress has been made. Even in the economic area, we've seen some development. The average Negro wage earner who happens to be employed today earns 10 times more than the average Negro wage earner of 12 years ago. And the national income of the Negro is now at about $30 billion a year, which is more than all of the exports of the United States and more than the national budget of Canada. This reveals that there has been some progress on this level. But probably more than anything else, we've seen in our day and in our age the gradual breakdown of the system of legal segregation. We all know the history of this system. Had its legal beginning in 1896. The Supreme Court of the nation rendered what was known as the Plessy versus Ferguson decision, establishing the doctrine of separate but equal as the law of the land. We all know what happened as a result of the Plessy doctrine. There was always a strict enforcement of the separate, without the slightest intention to abide by the equal. The Negro ended up being plunged into the abyss of exploitation, where he experienced the bleakness of nagging injustice. Then in 1954, the Supreme Court of our nation examined the legal body of segregation and on May 17th pronounced it constitutionally dead. Said in substance that the old Plessy doctrine must go, that separate facilities are inherently unequal, that to segregate a child on the basis of his race is to deny that child equal protection of the law. So since surrendering of that decision, we've seen numerous developments in our country. Then along with this, almost 10 years later, our nation passed a comprehensive civil rights bill. Passed on July 2nd, 1964, signed by President Johnson. I'm happy to report that communities all across the South, even in the hardcore South, are complying with that civil rights bill, particularly the public accommodation section, with amazing good sense and reasonableness. This reveals that we are making some strides. And so, to put it figuratively in biblical language, we've broken loose from the Egypt of slavery. We have moved through the wilderness of legal segregation, and now we stand on the border of the promised land of integration. Now, I'm absolutely convinced that the system of segregation is on its deathbed today, and the only thing uncertain about it is how costly the segregationists will make the funeral. We've come a long, long way since 1896. Now, this would be a wonderful place for me to end my speech. First, it would mean making a relatively short speech, and that would be a magnificent accomplishment for a Baptist preacher. Secondly, it would mean that the problem is about solved, and it would be a marvelous thing if speakers all over our country could talk about this problem in terms of a problem that once existed but that no longer has existence. If I stop at this point, I will merely be stating a fact and not telling the truth. You see, a fact is merely the absence of contradiction, but truth is the presence of coherence. Truth is the relatedness of facts. Now, it's a fact that we've come a long, long way, but it isn't the whole truth. And I'm afraid if I stop at this point, I will leave you the victims of a dangerous optimism. If I stop at this point, I may send you away the victims of an illusion wrapped in superficiality. So in order to tell the truth, it is necessary to move on and say, not only we've come a long, long way, but we have a long, long way to go before the problem of racial injustice is solved. I don't think I have to stay on this point too long. We need only turn on our televisions and open our newspapers and look around in our communities. We know that no section of our country can boast of clean hands in the area of brotherhood. I mentioned the fact that lynchings have about ceased. We must see the other side. Brutal murders are still taking place. Think of the 3 civil rights workers murdered in Mississippi last summer. Nothing has been done about it. In the state of Alabama, under the administration of Governor George Wallace, exactly 10 Negroes and their white supporters have been brutally murdered. Nobody has been convicted for a single murder. Churches are being burned and bombed. In Mississippi, it seems now that they have a new motto, not attend the church of your choice, but burn the church of your choice. Oh, how tragic this is. All of this reminds us that injustice still stalks the land. Tragic the lawlessness we find in so many of its dimensions. Alabama is still a state. Mississippi is still a state. Louisiana, and I could go right on, where murder is a sort of favorite pastime. Reign of terror, the Klan continues its ugly activity. All of this comes to remind us that we have a long, long way to go. I mentioned the fact that we had made some strides in the area of voter registration. We now have a little more than 2 million Negroes registered in the South. Now that looks fairly well, but when you think of the fact that there are still a little more than 10 million Negroes who still live in the South, about 6 million are of voting age. Only about 2 million registered, which means there are 4 million Negroes in the South who are not registered to vote. And it isn't only because of apathy, a lack of motivation. In so many instances, as Selma continues to remind us, Negroes cannot register and they cannot vote. All types of conniving methods are still being used to keep Negroes from becoming registered voters. They face intimidation when they go to the courthouses. They are harassed They face economic reprisals. I was in Selma just last week, only to discover that a few more than 200 Negroes have been fired from their job simply because they went down to the courthouse to register and vote. Most of them are heads of households. Think of the little children who will go hungry. Think of the wives, the mothers who will go hungry, and who will not have the basic necessities of life simply because they wanted to register and vote, something that is sacred in our great nation and in our democratic government. This reminds us that we have a long, long way to go. And then the complex literacy tests are still being given. The other day I studied the one they give in Alabama very thoroughly. I'm absolutely convinced that Chief Justice Warren would flunk it in the first minute of picking it up. Questions are so absurd on that and so ridiculous and so complicated. A person with a PhD in any field or a person with a law degree from the finest law school of our nation could not answer. This is what we still face. So this reveals that we still have a long, long go on the voting front. I mentioned economic justice, and I gave a big figure, $30 billion, as the figure that tells us about the annual income and buying power of the Negro. When we look at the other side, it tells us that we still have a great deal of work to do. But that other side reminds us that 42% of the Negro families of our country still earn less than $2,000 a year, while just 17% of the white families earn less than $2,000 a year. 21% of the Negro families of our country still earn less than $1,000 a year, while just 5% of the white families earn less than $1,000 a year. 88% of the Negro families of our country still earn less than $5,000 a year, while just 58% of the white families earn less than $5,000 a year. This reveals to us that we have a long, long way to go. Another problem has come into being. Because of the social injustices, the neglect of the past, we have inherited a difficult problem in every major city of our country. The Negro been denied educational opportunities in so many industries, covered up in ghettos, crowded and overcrowded, woefully inadequate schools. So he was denied the opportunity in many instances, denied the opportunity for apprenticeship training. For this reason, we have been limited by and large to semi-skilled and unskilled labor. Of course, called automation, cybernation came into being. These are the jobs that are passing away. Pounds the problem that the Negro confronts, because he faces the double blow of outright discrimination in employment and the displacement of the sociological changes that are developing as a result of automation. And society must do something about this massive public works program, massive retraining program that's come into being in order to grapple with this problem. For when people are walking the streets hungry, and they have no jobs, and they see life as a long and desolate corridor with no exit sign, they become bitter. That is nothing more dangerous for any society than to develop a large segment of that society and leave them with the feeling that they have no stake in the society, that they have nothing to lose. These are the people who will not listen to the pleas of nonviolence. These are the people who will riot because they see no way out. And so the massive social problems that can result as a result of the economic problem must be dealt with. This reveals that we have a long way to go. Let me say that even though I said we had made great strides on the question of segregation, the problem that is not yet solved. Now, it may be true that, as I said, figuratively speaking, old man segregation is on his deathbed. But history has proven that social systems have a great last-minute breathing power. And the guardians of the status quo are always on hand with their oxygen tents to keep the old order alive. We have to face the fact that segregation...
Peace be with you and within you. Never to be without you. I said peace within you and to never be without you. How are you? Hey, we can harmonize better than that. You said you're well? Like the water's inside of you, like you're like well? And like you're mostly filled with water? That kind of well? Hello? I want to know how well you are, like a whale, like a fish in the ocean, or like you, a body full of water.
A body full of water.
Ah. Oh well.
Hey.
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 Hey. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I think we can hear each other,
Yeah.
but we're not sure who's speaking when we're saying the same thing.
Yeah, I can hear you. Oh my God, you're so bright in the sky, yo. Oh my God, it is so beautiful.
That's the promise of a new beginning, isn't it?
And I'm on my way to Cali.
The promise that God gave me. I'm going back to Cali. Cali. I'm going back to Cali.
I see the whole arch. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole arch.
Yeah.
It looks like a giant orb.
It's like a piece of an R. in the bottom other end of it is where the gold is.
Amazing.
Yeah. Nature as God is truly amazing. We can have lots of myths and theologies of like what these natures mean. You know, some people say a rainbow means this, and some people say it means that, and some people ignore it and say it's water with light. You know, but there's something greater within nature that we just don't comprehend yet. And it's very simple. The thing about this complex system of nature is that it's very elementary. It's very simplistic, but it's so simple that it becomes complicated, that we don't understand it. You know, we don't look at the clouds and understand what that's saying, what it means, what they are. You know, what are they, how are they talking to us? How are the stars talking to us? How is the weather talking to us? How is our whole of the environment for fundamentally and socially, how is that all so synonymous, and how is that a factor? You know, like we are nature. You know, if we don't start tying these things in to ourselves, if we don't start tying into what God is, the opposite is that it's inevitable.
Right.
But anyhow, I'm glad you're seeing the rainbow, and it's good to hear you going to California. I'm in Arizona. I'm at Jason. Yeah, I'm in Arizona City still. And I'm looking at lightning amongst a storm, you know, maybe like 100 miles from me. And the clouds outside. Yeah, it's always a minute. What part of your travels are you in?
I'm in Utah, but I'm like
Utah.
208 miles from Las Vegas.
Yeah, I used to go all the way up there for work almost every day to St. George kind of area. Now we go to Vegas. You know, I was driving trucks back then. And that's a ride, man.
Oh, wow.
You gotta be in your meditation. You ain't gotta be, but otherwise. But how's the baby? How's the baby?
But we got a pretty good trip. I left Monday, and it's
Word. May God be with you. In the car, in the driver's seat, in the engine, and on the road.
Right. So my nephew is 19, and he talks like you. He talks like me. You know,
One of my people, yeah.
I would love for him to talk to you just so he can know that there.
It would be a legit speak to another. I mean, the event of speaking to each other, to speaking to another, what that means is that, you know, it's me talking to my people is an echo of myself, a reflection of self. It's my brain being translated for me.
Right. The first night we met outside at 1:30 in the morning. I ended up falling asleep. He was getting in poetry.
Some Rumi. Where did you go? Dumb phones. Hello. You're right. Plus, phones are dumb these days. They're not smart as what they advertise. Pose the propaganda to. They lied to us, Anita. They lied to us. These smartphones are making us dumber. You said to eat right? You said to eat right? I missed what you said. I'm sorry. Hello. Royce to Anita. There you are.
I'll call you back once I get some more bars.
It may be my service. Because my bars is pretty damn low too. My width's high, but my bars are low.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like monkey bars in elementary school right now.
That's crazy.
But yeah, like when time permits, we'll speak up.
Okay, I called you earlier, and I don't know what happened, but I wasn't there.
Earlier when? Today?
Going to the voicemail. Oh yeah. Probably about 2, 3, something like that.
Huh. My whole phone situation's been just messy. It's been like I'm talking to you out of an Android because my iPhone was like set to any carrier, but I reset it just to be on some skeptical, I don't know, something. So I never reset my everything. And then I erased the ability for me to use my service with that phone because it's not, I guess, jailbroken or whatever you would say anymore. So then, I don't know, it's just like some shit happened with my car that, they tried to take it into Mexico, and they got stopped at the Border Patrol, and so some messages that I needed from the phone was not in there to kind of recover my car. Woo. It's been just this sloppy and ignorant. But, when it comes so nasty, it's not for me to figure it out because I couldn't make it that way. I just gotta trust it's gonna take care of it. No, I traded it for a Nissan. I traded my BMW for a 2013 Nissan Maxima because it was more fuel efficient and whatnot. And so that's what I drove out here to Arizona in. But as I went to go get it registered out here, the people who I traded the car to, their father didn't agree with them trading it, so they reported the car stolen. He reported the car stolen. So once I'm trying to register the car, they picking it up because it's reported stolen. But the proof is in the pudding when I got the paperwork and the signature of them signing the car over and text messages saying, yo, whoop de whoop whoop. We know we traded the car, but yo, we can pay you to bring it back. So at that point, you don't hold me in consequence for stealing the car, which I didn't do, and taking the car. And then these mofos tried to take my car and send it into Mexico so they can do God knows what with it. But they got stopped at the Border Patrol. So it's just real janky, man. And it's all love. It's all God. It's all peace. It's all done. No, they took it away because they was reported stolen by the people's father. And then yet my car, they told the police that it was towed, but yet it wasn't towed because it was reported at the Border Patrol being seized by them. And they went to my sister's house in Rialto, which the car was registered to my name and at the address, looking for me because it was registered to me. But now in order to get my car back, I have to somehow, dumb enough, prove that it's my car, that I wasn't involved with the incident, which is very inevitable and obvious because I wasn't there. You didn't get me, it wasn't Royce, and that's why you went to Rialto looking for me because the car's in my name. Give me my fucking car back. Don't make me have to prove it to you what you already know. You know what I'm saying? So now it's I gotta send all this paperwork back to the Homeland Security and Border Patrol and all this kind of shit for something that is clear and evident that I didn't do and that I didn't have part of. And you can connect the fucking dots to that shit. It's like a damn breadcrumb paper trail right there. And they can't even, but that's this crooked world. It's easy for the crooks and it's hard for the victims. The system works better for them. They end up getting the car taken, reporting it falsely stolen, taking the car, and then doing whatever they want to do to my car. And me, the person over here, I got to sit there and fight to get it back. You know what I'm saying? It's a shady ass world. But yo, I'm going to keep being the light in a shady ass world. I'm going to create the motherfucking shade more than they understand by being the light. God's going to work that out. It ain't me that I'm here to go through it and go through it with God and build my alliance with God, build my alignment with Him. You know what I mean? To be as Him, to move like He would move, to test my morality, to test my integrity, to test my decisions of who I am. Therefore, when they keep doing these things, it's upon people and how they move these days, man. You're coming upon the beginning and the ending. You know what I mean? That's strength. And when people are moving in this way, cutthroat, without the unity, without the solidarity, without the oppression being all within the people, but yet me got to take advantage of a person by the people, from the people, to the people, steal from them, rob from them, do conniving things to them. Yo, that's who you made yourself to be when the times get rough. And as the times are rough for me, I am going to make myself who I am. I'm not just chosen, I'm going to choose me too. God chose me, therefore I'm going to choose God. And that's when we become one. I mean, I'm not able to speak about nothing to no one that I care about except these things, man. And I understand what my purpose is, and I don't have a choice in it anymore. I don't even have to, this isn't like what I was structured out to be like, but I say these things to you, not quoting Bible verses, but it's in the Word. See, I'm going to speak that word. I'm going to speak that truth. I'm going to take the book. I'm not taking the book, but God is. That's the Holy Spirit in me, yo. I'm not claiming nothing myself. I'm claiming in the Holy Spirit of my Lord, my servant. I serve him, he serves me. Therefore, we will serve each other. This world will get served for what they try to serve me. That's the basic law of what God is. You're going to get what you gave. He's a just. That's what just means. He's merciful and loving, what we are not. But that's just what's going to happen to you when you giving that mercy and that love, that everything like that, and you just can't even do nothing but what you do. Be mindful. People are not even mindful of it. I'm going to be cognitive. Blessed, man. How you doing? I'm doing well, man. Have a good evening. Thank you, brother. You understand what I'm trying to say? That's like, yo, it's simple stuff because this is who we are. But the world is as adaptive as we are as humans. We adapt to this world and to this environment because we're nature, because we're that. We're as above, as below. Look what happens, yo. People have now made their own God. They say what they agree with and what they don't agree with. Or they don't even give a damn and pay attention. It's about what they do. Or it's about how much money you got, it's how much God you got. People's money is God. How much money I got, I'm good. That's why you see people focus on money. Because that's their God. They praising the wrong one. They trying to get to the wrong one. They trying to get as much as they want, the wrong one. And they only got the nerves to say on the dollar bill, in God we trust. You a blasphemous lie. That's a blood clot lie. In God we trust, in God you don't. Because if it was about the money, you would choose that over God any day. Just like you have the right to choose right now with your free will. How free is your price to pay for all the money that you go for? You can only spend it so long when I can spend my money eternity. I can never run out of mine. These people gonna run out of their money. I can promise that. It's gonna run out before it run out. It ain't gonna be of use and no good as it is anymore, as it never should be. And that's why people are no good, because that's the actual money. I don't need no church to say amen to me. I'm gonna be the church. I'm gonna be amen too, just like my Lord is. I'm an amen in my own church. He's a sovereign God, ain't he? To be holy is to be set apart from this world, right? What he's gonna do, he's gonna set his people apart. He will. I'm forever living. And if I die, I'll live again. The rest of them, they die, they dead. I'm born again, meaning if I die, I'm born again. Don't make a difference. God is forever the Alpha and Omega. When I'm one with him, that's what he needed you to get for life. If you had the chance, if you wanted it. If you want him, here he is. He'll come to you. He wants you. If you don't want it, nigga, you ain't gonna have it. People focus on the wrong thing, what they trying to get. You better try to get your motherfucking self. People scared to death, but yet don't even prepare for it. What's your blood clot problem? You scared to death, but don't even act upon what you even understand. Or if something is eternal as you may be dead. You was something before you got here, and you're gonna be something afterwards too. Same something. The physical to the spiritual. How much ignorance can you have when you have both of them? To think that you just one. Get out of here, man. The spiritual is what the God of you is. The body ain't shit but of the world. That's why the water in you is just like the earth is. That's what this planet is, blue. The water comes in three forms: the solid, the liquid, and the gas. That's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, man. I'm a solid man right here, but I ain't. Broken up. But anyhow, Nita, sorry for preaching to you all the time.
No, you're fine.
I don't mean to like preach.
I must be here.
And I don't want it to be no monologue. Niggas, I'm tired. Nigga, I'm driving already. You about to put me to sleep. I give thanks that you don't, I'm being argumentative and shit. I don't blame someone to be like, nigga, I ain't trying to hear that. Because we ain't trying to hear, we ain't trying to see what we don't want to see. That's why we don't see it. You know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to hear what we don't want to hear because we want it to be, we all have our reasons why that is too. But I'd rather be afraid of keeping something rather than afraid of having it and not even like knowing you're carrying it. You know what I mean? Like having it like an issue, being an asshole, don't even fucking know it or see it or care. Like it's just like embedded into me. Like I'd be more afraid of that happening than I'm afraid of like my humanity, my vulnerability, or like whatever. I rise about that. But we ain't gonna change until we even want to change. And then what we can't change is what we don't even know what we need to change. You know what I'm saying? We far behind, yo. But yet we know it, but we unconsciously sleep to the point where we can't get the cognitive knowing of what it is that needs to be, and wake up and just start. It can stop within 5 minutes, within 2 minutes. As much as fast as world can end, it can actually begin. You know what I'm saying? But like we don't understand the collective will of what will happen when we don't even know what is the problem. We don't know the problem. How you gonna fix it, yo? And most times people trying to fix it, but they don't even know why it's broken. On God, in God. Like it's the basic ignorance. Yeah, I'm here. Copy that. Copy that. Copy that. It sound like we on CBs and shit, like on walkie-talkie. Yeah, just reach out to me a different time, when time permits. Nita, Miss Baker.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, enchilada. I said just reach out to me like when time permits.
I can't hear it. I can't hear it. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh yeah? I said you can just reach out to me when we ain't gotta wonder if we can hear each other. Oh yeah, you can?
Yeah.
Did you hear what I said?
Not the last statement.
I'm saying you could just reach out to me when it's a better phone call, when it's more clear, you know?
Well, what did you do different? What did you do different?
I'm just moving around.
Oh, well, that fixed it. Whatever you doing, fix it.
Yeah, just keep moving, nigga. Like, be the bar, nigga. Be the signal, nigga.
Right,
Yeah, you can stick an arm up, nigga.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Because my bars, I have like 3 bars. So that's good.
It's funny because my bars always high, man. I'm like the motherfucker, the Olympics with my bars. I keep them up there. I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
I'm just joking. Stupid. My bar is 24/7, y'all. I'm like in the city in the summertime, girl. My bars.
You ain't lying. You got bars today.
Yeah. I'm an idiot. A silly guy.
No, you're not.
I mean, I'm not idiot. I don't mean that. I'm just saying like her. I mean, what are bars anyway? I mean, just being a little silly poet when I am talking silly and witty.
Right. So who are you out there with? A friend?
I'm with my friend, my brother, the dude I've known more than I can probably know someone. His name is Royce. His name is Royce Brown. And mine's Royce Bruner. His is Brown. He was raised with each other. He's lived with me for me. Yo, man. That's my dude. We're like the same age. Same kind of, folks. He's in the fruit of Islam. that all merciful, honorable Elijah Muhammad as his mentor and his teacher. But, they always understand who Christ is and what the Christ is for them to be as well. So we all find like peace within our differences, yet being the same, Plus we're brothers. God is a universal Lord. So, and you're going to find the truth in it within anything, because the truth is all it's going to be. You can't, darkness can't consume light. Light can always consume darkness. Darkness ain't gonna never take out a light. Go in the room because it's dark, now I was in the light guard. It ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? But you go into a darkest room with the light, it ain't dark no more. You know what I mean? It's gonna shine potent for what it is. That's how much power light has over darkness. And people don't understand. They want to find them equivalent and everything like that, but no, fam. You gotta understand how massive these stars are sitting within this darkness. And the mass that they produce and the density and all of its energy and what that actually means is what you're supposed to be within the darkness. That's all. Your darkness is sure, let it, but don't let it be you. Be as of what it is, like God is all things. But he ain't that. He said, within those things, this is who I am within those things. This is the basic duality, elementary duality, yo. But anyhow, I be trying to be conscious of not floating away on you. That spirit be having me, I be like, oh damn, I'm trying to bookmark myself. Like, damn, I did it again.
You so funny.
They got no breaks.
Well, good. And so, it's going good for you?
Yo, I mean, I'm trying to get past the good and past the bad, and what am I call something bad for anyway, or what do I need it to be good for? I'm trying. I'm working. That's what I'm working on, and so that's why it's a difficult answer. Where it's like, yes, it's good. Through it all. It's what do I know for it to be bad? Besides what I'm ignorant that I know. And sometimes when I don't want to move things must be moved. And so if I trust in God, let things move and understand that I can put my trust in what sees what to move, neither than myself. And so within that, when it don't look too right, if I could say, and I'd say if it's right or wrong, but when it don't look too right, maybe I can understand how right of a guy that I have and how much right do I can say what something looks like. And be still and trust in him as what he only asks of you anyhow. And trust me with your mind, body, soul, and spirit. No matter what it look like. If I put you in a lion's den, trust me. If I put you in a fire, trust me. If I tell you to go up there and kill your son on the mountain, trust me. If I tell you to die on the cross, trust me. Regardless of what it look like, trust me and watch what happens. I'll show you something. I'm the supernatural God. I'm the one that you never seen what could happen. I'm the most powerful who created the Almighty up under the heavens and the earth. Trust me and watch what happens. Become as me, watch what happens. Anything that I do, I will give it to you because you're my seed. You follow me. You do for me. You're my people. That's why I need to know if you're my people. I'm not going to be able to just do these things and give you myself if you're not who I am, right? So this is the reason why he's having him go up there to the top of the mountain and try to kill his son. That's why he's having him, Moses be faced and run into a sea with all this. Why would you bring us here, Lord? Yo, just trust me. Look what happened. I'm God. Look at Noah. Boom, boom, trust me. Boom, I'm God. They didn't understand how much of a storm, how much water could it be. All these moments, he ain't gonna give himself to you until you give yourself to him. Trust me. With your mind, body, soul, and spirit. Love me, and you will follow my commandments. And then when you do that, he got something to show you with the eyes haven't seen and the ears have not hear yet. They couldn't understand, but I'm looking at a lightning storm from a distance with all this grace. Like, not intimidated, just looking at its beauty of just a massive lightning storm. Like, I'm talking about massive. Like, I should be recording this right now. But this is my Lord. I'm building a kingdom right now. My eyes have never seen. I can speak about it. But that's why I can speak about it, because he showed me enough of what I'm speaking about. He told me enough about what I've been able to say that I haven't seen myself, but I know enough to even speak about it. This is the unseen Lord. That's me can see him without even seeing him. He's more seen than he is unseen at that point, once the transition comes. It's harder to doubt him than it is to know than to believe he's real. Most people trying to believe in God. Nigga, how long is it gonna take for you to know who God is? You gonna spend your whole life trying to believe? I believe in God. I believe in God. Like nigga, like how long is you believing in? You believing in people more than what you believe in God. Like he's more, it's harder to doubt him once you transition to the unseen, to seeing somebody that you could possibly know that ain't real. You'll know that everybody else that you looking at ain't real as much as what you can. These niggas is not real. Motherfucking robots or demons. You gotta understand, a third of Satan's people came with him and they started breeding. Do you know how many demons it is on this planet right now? And the many more that they have made because of vulnerable and hurt and angry people and oppression and everything else. Do you know how many people, do you know why it's a narrow path into heaven? Why many don't make it and many don't go? Why come many more people chasing money and freedom and all that kind of stuff between the liberation of God? Because look what it is from what he created. See, God's people, regardless of what happens, he said they will stay with me. They know the path to heaven. Even my own son, he can go off and this and that, but he's going to turn around and come back home and we're going to celebrate his welcoming home. But he left us, Dad. The other brother would say, he left us, this and that, he went this and that, but he coming home. It don't make a difference. My son was dead then, he was lost then, but now he's found, he coming home. It's nothing but celebration. God knows his people, regardless of what is going to happen. Devil trust him. I'll go ahead and make it hard for him. Devil, you can go ahead and do what you want to do. Nigga, they my people. They coming with me. They coming home. It ain't because how good I am to them. It ain't because of how much I bless them. It ain't because of the richness and everything like a spoiled little child is God. It ain't my spoiled little children. It's the children that had nothing who understood who their father was. They had nothing. They had trials, tribulations. They suffered. They stayed with me. That's who I am. Satan can come at me, man. He been, girl, Anita, you know how hard I was happy at a certain point, even when I was sad when I met you. But like, look where I've had to like endure. Like every day is a month for me sometimes. Like a month. Like it's like, I have some hard days, some long, emotional, hurtful, something that's just trapped inside of you. You don't know what to do with it. But it's man, he'll heal it. He'll give me these words right now. He'll liberate me. He'll inspire me. He'll cover me in his wings, man. Like even through it all, I can still testify how good it is to have it. How beautiful that struggle is. What the eye of the storm means, man. To worship, to be a ship of worship over troubled waters. Like when that's my weapon, that's my tool, that's my assault rifle. Is that worship? Like even when it's bad, instead of me saying like, oh, forsake God, forsaking me, man, he why you gonna do me like this? Like, hey, if I'm one with you and all this kind of stuff, why you gonna do me like this? Like, why am I suffering like this? Yo, look what I do. I go praise him. I give him worship. I glorify him. I speak about how good he is. I speak about how amazing he is through the bullshit what we're going through. Hear me now? That's worship. That's destroying the devil. That's what he did to Christ inside the wilderness. Hey, yo, he tried to tempt him. He tried to do everything else. They tried to do whatever kind of trickery you can do to make him get off distracted. You make him when he's hungriest the most. Go ahead and eat that bread, that rock. Like, go ahead and do what I said. You do it. You. No. It's like, man, we gonna get fed. He's the everlasting water. He's the bread of heaven. He's the everlasting bread. He's the everlasting life. Like, what do we need from you anymore, Satan? Like through my suffering, I'm fed. When I'm thirsty, I'm drinking from the spring. And that means I can last forever while you depend upon these things that are tempered, maybe that you can even tempt me for. Yo, man, it's scary and it's beautiful right now, yo. I can't even like front. I mean, I don't have scare. I'm not scared because there's nothing that I can fear besides what God is that I have no reason to, but to understand. Well, like I'm under His care besides something to be scared for. It's the opposite. But it's just like me being such a hard life of like knowing what's gonna happen to so many wicked people who just don't even know why they're wicked or how they're wicked or like didn't maybe want to be wicked. You know, like what that means, yo. It's something. It's about to get real. And people, they don't even understand like the water running and how close it is to the waterfall. You can see how rough the rapids is getting. You can see how hard the rocks are getting slammed with the water and everything like that. But yet we don't realize what that means when it's going that much faster now. When time is going so much faster. You know, everybody in the world can say, oh man, time going by so fast, man. It was just spring, now damn winter time. Hey man, I got a birthday again, brother. Hey man, it's Sunday again. It's something happening, yo. And this is that end and that beginning point right there. At the waterfall, it ends at a certain point. At the bottom of it, it's gonna begin. It's all in one place right there. That's why it's so epic. It's a beginning anytime. And right now, we're just moving down that stream and that little river, and it's just like, ooh, it's getting rough. And we're not awake enough to understand what conscious, cognitive, smart intelligence, the ability to know that, yo, we should prepare for something. Or we should prepare, we should get ready, we should know that something is a guan that is going to affect us in some kind of way, regardless of what, you know. If we own this river, then like, come on now, come on. We ain't just gonna just run into, oh, here we go, boom, nothing. You know, like it's enough sense to know what's happening, why you should get to know who yourself are and is more than Google. You know, they shouldn't know you more than you do, yo. They shouldn't have to teach you who you are. Like, why is some artificial intelligence teaching you who you are and they can already duplicate humans? You gotta get the fuck out of here and they created immortality. You gotta be nuts to not know how clear and evident that is. I mean, come on, man, people. That's obvious. Don't understand what the enslavement was for a reason. Enslavement, so now you could be enslaved and physically enslaved now.
Right. Let me ask you a question. Have you heard about that big gathering that they have in Colorado?
A gathering particularly? No, negative.
In the forest.
I know like a Sedona and like in the mountains of like kind of Washington and all that, and Oregon, but
it's
Colorado, it does have Rocky Mountains.
I don't know if it's like a rainbow something. I looked it up. It was on the news when I was in Colorado. But prior to that, somebody had spoke about it on Facebook. And that's why I thought it was so weird that I had saw it. You know, I guess it's coming up, but it's this large gathering of people, like 10,000 people, meet in this national forest. And, you know, they stay there for like a week or two and, you know, take it back to nature. And I was like, wow, you know, like, dang, it almost made me want to stay in Colorado just for that. And then I'm like, no, I got things to do, you know. But yeah.
I mean, it's some of those events that happen like are constant. Like there's Moonlight this and Desert Tribe and Rainbow Dam Gathering and fucking, you know, orange fucking goddamn this sunflower seed. It's all kind of shit that are constantly going on. That which is the same thing. You know, there's sometimes they're like spiritual retreats, and sometimes they're just like little desert parties or mountain fucking little you know, workshops and shit.
Yeah, but as they were speaking about it, you know, some of the residents are saying that, you know, they shouldn't be allowed to do that. You know, they're calling for law enforcement to, you know, stop it and all
Man,
that.
who makes these damn rules? People have the prerogative to damn live.
They was like, really, you know, they don't have grounds to, you know, do that. You You know, like,
They don't got grounds to tell them they don't have grounds.
and it's really no leader, you know, and they was like, there's no leader to apply for any permit or any of that. It's just like a gathering of,
Because it's not an organization or a business like what they automatically. It's a people coming together in solidarity and coming in a form of peace and uplifting as well, and uprising and celebrating, like, and coming together as one and with love and shit like that. And it's about this, and God forbid that's the opposite of what the whole propaganda is right now. The whole scene that they want is a pandemic and fear and employment and motherfucking this and that. You know, they want the killings. They want they want you within a different state. That's why they want to have a fucking problem with somebody coming together to have a peaceful time. Besides the bullshit that they want you to have in a state of mind. Who the fuck is you to make a statute about somebody having their human rights being exploited? Like, come on, man, get out of here. It's bullshit. People, when they fall for that kind of, like, to tell you what you can, these authoritarians who try to, like, just like change laws right up under your nose and everything, and get you to make some loud noise over here while they do this over here. You know, like, it's bullshit already. Like, how long can they play this look this way while we fucking rape your fucking system, your laws, like, and your natural resources and everything else like that? Like get out of town. Like, but we're just accepting it. Whatever they say, they'll say okay. You know, like, okay. Look at Burning Man. Burning Man's been going on for how many years, yo? And it's about some system that they want to organize once a year to come together for, that they spend that much money to do every year, organize in a pattern, and yet couldn't do it and pay for it all themselves with all them years of money. They couldn't have owned that damn land or found another land to actually make it a real thing instead of some imaginary fucking celebration or festival or annual event that they can actually manifest and do it themselves with the willpower collectively. If it was really about that, not the bullshit. But it's all about the bullshit. And that's why people deal with the bullshit so easily. They can tell them some bullshit to them, they'll say, okay. And complain and walk away and say it's bullshit. And without people power, without us collectively saying, no, it's not okay, that's not okay. No, that's bullshit. If it's a group of people, sure, they heard it. You know, it's another group of people, they'll feel it. But there ain't nobody else to make them do it. You got to have the masses to say hell no, because they need the masses more than we need them. It's 99% of the people that are supply and demand. They need us more than we need them. We think we need them. It's a simple sleep. It's a simple program. It's a conditioning of the mind to say that we depend upon them and they can kill us. We're scared of death. We're scared of them. We're scared of change. We're scared of standing up and fighting for ourselves. We rather glorify who did it before us in our past times rather than do it right now when we need to do it. We need to be our past, but we're too coward to do it. We're too slept to do it. We're too content to do it. We're too lack of belief to do it. We too don't even believe it that they are doing it to do it. And the inevitable will happen, yo. They do it slowly but surely. We don't do shit, surely. We don't do shit about it. And I as one man, can lose my life for it and be a martyr to myself. But people, you know, it don't make a movement. A martyr is good for, like, inspiring something and lighting a flame that shouldn't go out. You need a pilot for your oven, for you to cook food inside your house when you move into a place. All you gotta do is light the motherfucking pilot. Now you can cook for seasons. You're supposed to keep that flame lit. That's your gas company that you call out when you're trying to light a home. When you have in the body of Christ, you light that flame and it will forever grow. It can start off as candlelight and it could be a sun. We'll light this world on fire. It's an internal flame that must be lit, and they done blew it out. That's why this is a dark fucking world when we are the light. We came from the light. He spoke this into their darkness. Therefore, you lose your light. That's why you get dark world. And now they're scared of the light. People don't want to know them fucking see themselves in the mirror for shit. That they scared of the fucking light. You expose some light to their darkness, to their dark shit, to their motherfucking shadow shit. You expose that shit, nigga, they will hate you and take you down more than what they already took you down. They hate to be exposed. It's like they in a bedroom, a little teenager that's been in a dark, curtains shut, but windows boarded up, and somebody just open up the windows in the morning. Like, they gonna hate you. You put that light in on that dark, it's gonna hurt their eyes, it's gonna hurt their mind, it's gonna hurt their heart, they're gonna hurt their feelings, they're gonna be angry, and they're gonna have a fucking grudge on you forever. For showing them how dirty their fucking room was. For showing them that they've been in fucking slumber for so long. For showing them how much you stink. For showing them how you've been acting towards me. For telling somebody else how you've been treating me. They angry now. And they'll hurt you more when you tell them how you hurt them. And that's supposed to be somebody that loved you and you love. That's the reason why one person hurt now. He can't now trust another person because a person that he loved hurted him. It's a perpetual system. It's a domino effect. It's a frequency. It's a pattern. It's a nature. It's an adaptation. And we got to understand what we are in order for us to become who we are. We got to have something to come from. We don't know what the fucking stars are. We don't know what the motherfucker star is. We call them falling stars when they goddamn ain't even close to a fucking star. We call birthdays happy birthday, a trip around the sun from the 93 million miles away and in 365 days. Happy birthday, motherfucker. Happy year around the sun. Your ass went all the way around 93 million miles away, all the way around that motherfucking 365 days. Light years away and shit. Like, come on, fam. We trying to make it to the moon, but they telling us what happened over there and different moons over there in Saturn and shit. It's nonsense, man. It's nonsense. We got to raise our babies better than that. Plus, we got to raise ourselves better than that. You got dumb people teaching babies dumb shit, let alone the educational system, thinking that we got a bright fucking future. That motherfucker's dim as a goddamn don't know what, like a lampshade on a fucking a dim light. Like, I'm just keeping it real. I ain't trying to put that in the air into the universe, but I ain't gonna lie to myself. And that's the problem as it is. People are here lying to themselves saying, oh,